Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astrologist. Welcome to Star Codes, where today we are going to focus on the big event, the one I've been talking about, that everyone's been talking about for the past year or even longer, and that is the stellium in Capricorn between Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, and Pluto. They haven't met up in Capricorn in 500 years. That is a long time. That's half a millennium. And the last time that the conjunction happened was 1518 when Martin Luther broke away from the Catholic Church. So you can already tell this is going to be, and already is, a major shift in human consciousness. And this time around, it's even more pronounced because joining Saturn and Pluto will be the Sun in Capricorn, because this happens to take place while the Sun is going through the sign of Capricorn. And Mercury is also part of the stellium. So this is huge because those are two personal light bodies. The Sun is a star, Mercury is a planet, and they rule our inner light, our higher self, the Sun. And Mercury is how we think about things, how we perceive, how we communicate, what we perceive. And so there is this incredible sense of everything is shifting. It's not just on a more global level, a human consciousness level, but a very, very personal level as well. So it's a very important star code forecast, and we're going to cover a lot today. Now, Saturn and Pluto form a conjunction approximately every 33 years. It really depends on Pluto's elliptical orbit. It's not a regular orbit, so it's approximately every 33 years. So when Saturn and Pluto are either conjunct each other, which is joined together, or opposite each other, 180 degrees, it always signifies a turn of events. It's a critical time frame of dramatic change. Pluto's transformation energy and Saturn's manifestation energy are merged and can be used either in a negative way, destructively, or in a highly vibrational way, creatively. So when we actually do the work with these transits consciously and we participate in the transformation, in the change that's going on naturally, we can get their deeper meaning and gracefully move through those big transitions. So today we're going to cover the meaning of Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, that conjunction, how to navigate this intense energy from now through January, even into February. We're going to feel it for sure very intensely during that time, and look at the positive outcomes that can be had when we are consciously engaged in working with the transit itself. And of course, we'll end with tips and takeaways, as always, to help you move through these star codes and create something really special. So Saturn is a planet that brings structure and that manifests results and that helps us navigate the natural cycles, the natural timing of things. So it requires that you have patience because you have to trust in the natural order. And in Capricorn, Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn, we're looking at structures, we're looking at systems that we've built in society. So that would be economic systems, political systems, religious, cultural, corporate, health systems, and academic educational institutions. Those are the structures around which we build our lives, right? Now, Pluto is about utter, profound change, transformation, deep, penetrating shifts, the death of something and the rebirth of something, empowerment through consistent release and the acceptance of change. So Pluto is about our soul's evolution and growth. So when we bring Saturn and Pluto together, we know we are evolving. human consciousness is going through a huge evolutionary leap. The utter transformation of the systems and the structures in our lives is going to be broken down and rebuilt, and that is both personally and collectively. The ability to go deeply into the truth, into awareness, in order to reach great, great heights as a result, is greatly accentuated, because a massive shift is built through deeply committed effort. And that effort means that you see everything. Now remember, we're entering 2020. The 2020s are about perfect vision, so you're going to see things you haven't seen before. And that also means your second sight will be much more available to you. It will expand tremendously. We're going to move into a more intuitive way of living, and it will be more acceptable to talk about, to acknowledge it. So this will allow the potential of the Capricorn side, the massive accomplishment that you've been seeking, the sustenance of the soul, the ability to create your life at will and in a way that is so fulfilling, is going to be at your service. Because this energy, this intense energy, needs a constructive outlet. And so that means that you need to have a goal that challenges you and allows you to tap into your inner light, your inner resources, your creativity. And the result, of course, is lasting health, lasting wealth, lasting success, lasting relationships. And I'm not saying that things don't change. I'm just saying that the internal sense of peace and trust that all is well is what is lasting. That will not leave you. That is the Capricorn, we're building something that lasts energy. If you resist the intensity that is leading to this evolution, then things will feel more chaotic, because these kinds of shifts don't happen often. And when they do, we signed up to be here at this time on planet Earth. So that means we signed up for the shift. So it is what it is. If you resist what you signed up for, there's going to be consequences. There's always feedback energetically, based on what you decide to do with what's in front of you. So it helps to know how you're naturally designed to deal with upheaval that is there for you to move into a higher vibrational state. So knowing your inborn gifts, how you are designed to create success, is important, which is why I created the free masterclass, which describes your life purpose and your destiny based on your birthday and based on your birth name and based on your star code, your astrology. Head on to starcodeclass.com, because it will really help you just to know those basic building blocks of who you are at soul level. We are talking about the soul after all. And soul in some languages, SOL, actually means sun, which is light. That's truly what soul means. It is your higher self. So we are getting in touch with our soul, with the sun. The sun is part of the stellium. Remember, the sun is in Capricorn. So what we need to do is look at the structures that we've adhered to, that we've created in our life. We need to look at the systems that we are participating in, that we are maybe unconsciously just accepting because of how we were raised to believe certain things. And belief is not truth. It is just something that was handed to you that you've taken on as truth, but it is not truth. So we need to look at those structures of belief and the structures that we participate in and decide, do we want to partake in them? Or can we opt out and reorient that energy in a way that actually serves us spiritually? Pluto says what no longer serves us personally and collectively needs to go, and new structures need to be built. Remember, Pluto is about life, death, rebirth. So Pluto is destroying old forms in order to create new systems and structures where new vibration will be birthed. and also remembered. So this is a big, big wake-up call to be completely aware about the ways in which you are living your life and to see whether some of those ways are dysfunctional, that are negatively impacting you or are destructive. Remember, you're going to see things clearly because of 2020. 2020 is perfect vision. 2020 is sight. And 2020, very interestingly enough, I don't know how that was created in the medical field, but it certainly was a forecast of what is to happen this decade when that 2020 was implemented in our mind as perfect vision. I mean, they could have used other numbers, but they used those. So that's how the universe works. It works in mysterious ways, and that's why we pay attention to astronumerology. We pay attention to the symbols. So now the negative side of 20, which is 2, reduces to 2, 2 plus 0 is 2, is divisiveness, is conflict, where the two are fighting each other, where we are polarized, and then violence starts happening because we have to release the tension somehow. That is the nature of energy. And so when we want power over others and we become self-centered, we destroy our ability to create because we have lost our connection to source. We have divided from source. So we need to understand that this Pluto energy, which is about power, and let's look at Pluto a little closer. So Pluto and Mars are the co-rulers of Scorpio. Mars governs our energy. It's how we act, how we assert ourselves. And Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. So Pluto is about the empowerment of everyone. And it is not about ego power. It is about aligning to your will that is with the divine will. So the intelligence of the heart, the power of the light, the power of the cosmos are internalized in you because you are a soul, you are a sun. So we want to move away from polarization, from divisiveness, and not get caught up in the fear, the chaos, that rabbit hole of drama that can so easily take us off track. And always remember that we are dying all the time and birthing all the time, and that a natural death that is not resisted leads to a natural rebirth. So it's a breakdown of our ideas, our ways of being, of needing to defend ourselves to prove a point, those old structures that we put our trust in, but it's really blind belief is what it is. And we need to now really, really see. We need to look. We need to look within and trust how we feel and allow those amazing new forms to birth within us, because where else are they going to come from? Are you going to rely on outside forces to decide for you, or are you going to turn within and listen to what actually feels right? Are you going to use that divine wisdom? This is where the Sun and Mercury come in, because they're also part of this conjunction. They're also part of the stellium. The presence of the Sun and Mercury differentiates this conjunction, as I said earlier, from the one in 1518 and even the ones before that. So the Sun conjunct Mercury puts our focus on being able to think things through in a very practical way, which is important because the truth is actually very simple, but we complicate matters. And so we can get consciously engaged with this conjunction. The mind and your soul, your light, together form a very powerful unit that directs us in a pristine way to what is. So your thoughts will actually speed up with this conjunction because you can adapt to variety very, very quickly, and you're curious to explore. And so you have this clear intelligence. It's gone to another level, and it allows you to be conscious of who you are, what your true divine mission is, and get intellectually engaged in fulfilling that mission. And your communication with yourself, but also with others, is very, very positive. Now, the sun with Saturn makes you very persistent. You can achieve a lot. The sun conjunct Pluto allows you to tap into your internal courage, your internal power, your internal confidence, and get to the deep root cause of issues without judgment. So again, the transformation results from the acceptance of truth, which then leads to your rebirth because you've accepted, you've become aware, you've not pushed away. And that release creates healing and repairs and reparations within you. And then Mercury conjunct Saturn tremendously enhances your analytical ability. Saturn is about getting the work done. Mercury is how you function in your mind about getting that work done. So you can become very serious about getting your hands into the ground and creating that project you've always wanted to create, getting fully engaged. Your concentration is outstanding. Your focus is outstanding. Your patience is enhanced. You see things in terms of reality very, very, very clearly. And you also are not afraid to turn to trusted mentors who you know are not BSing you, but are actually helping you get in touch with who you are internally. This is very important too, because, we all need guidance. That's why we have guides to help us, right? It is very, very important to trust in that. We have parents first, and then we grow and we intuitively gauge who would help us on our journey, who would be a good person. That's also important with Saturn and Mercury. Mercury conjunct Pluto is awakening your desire to have an impact. We all want to have a positive impact. And this is truly the desire to influence the world in some way, or your surroundings, or the people in your life in some way that is high vibrational, that is highly positive, so that you feel appreciated and recognized at soul level. This is not an ego trip. This is an intense, deep, divine conversation you're having with your soul and then with others as a result. And it's awakening new perceptions about who you are in a spiritual sense, right? It also governs psychology, understanding human nature, but also taking it beyond academia. I mean, everything has to go beyond the systems and structures we've constructed so far, right? It's so important to understand that academia is not serving us at soul level. It is serving us only in the male model, patriarchal level, which is to learn information and regurgitate it. It is not to use your higher mind to assimilate and ask questions and grow within. It is not about self-growth. So it serves the structure itself, the academic model. So we need to take, if we feel a kind of intensity or this, this nervousness with Pluto and Mercury, it will uncover answers, because if it makes you feel like you need to do more research and you're not quite sure why you're feeling this, you got to go do the research. That's what Pluto wants. Pluto is so into diving in. Remember, it rules Scorpio, and that's the stinger, and it wants to know the truth. So you can make incredibly empowering discoveries at this time, truly remarkable ones. So now the question becomes, is there a solution that we can focus on as the intensity just gets to the point, the volcanic eruption, the lava is building up, and we're about to really get the big moment. If it, you may have already felt it in your personal life in some way. And by the way, this is not negative. This is just intensity of energy to help that birth, that evolutionary leap to happen. So the answer lies in the north node of the moon, because when Pluto and Saturn first started coming together in early 2019, if you remember, they were conjunct the south node in Capricorn at that time and opposite the north node, which means the answer lies in the north node, and the north node represents the future. The south node, the past. So again, we're stripping down the past. That's what's going on. And where's the future? Well, it's in Cancer. The north node is in Cancer. The eclipses have been happening on the Capricorn Cancer axis. We're going through them as we speak right now. We're going to have a Cancer eclipse on January 10th, 2 days before the stellium. Now that's a sign from the universe. If there was anyone, that's where the solution is. It is in Cancer. So what does Cancer represent? It represents the Divine Mother. It represents the merging of the acceptance of all, whereas Capricorn is the father energy, the Saturn energy, right? Cancer symbolizes the lunar energy. It's ruled by the moon. It is about the divine feminine. It is about nurturing. It is about loving ourselves, loving each other, and to act only guided by compassion. And so we need to create a new system and a new structure everywhere in life that is inspired by both the divine feminine and the sacred masculine, because the divine mother never leaves out any of her children. She embraces them all. This is not about switching gears and turning all feminine. This is about bringing it into balance and understanding the sacredness is in all of life, and we need to integrate everything. We need to treat everything with reverence. We need to start with nature. We need to start with our earthly resources, animals, plants, each other, and just know that everything is sacred and that the Divine Mother loves us unconditionally always. So Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn are saying, let go of those old ways, the patriarchal way, the old paradigms, the old approaches from the last few thousand years, that it begins here. It begins at home. And if you have children, it begins with what you feed them, your conversations, your feelings that you have around them, because they pick up everything, and of course, how you're educating them, the academic institutions. So it begins how you spend your most valuable resource, which is time. And time is governed by Saturn and Capricorn. So you can see how they work with each other very, very beautifully. So you want to call timeouts on certain things now, like electronic devices. I know it's a little bit of a paradox. You're probably watching me on an electronic device, and that's fine. I mean, we need to use the devices in a high vibrational way, but we don't want to get caught in that rabbit hole, right? So we want to appreciate what's alive, and devices are not alive. They're just a tool. So we want to intimately connect with people in our lives, with nature, with our soul through meditation. We need to integrate. This is a time of integration. It's not about one energy against another and separation. So we're here to integrate now the sacred masculine and the divine feminine. And that wisdom will help us deal with polarities, where we're not in that conflicting place at all. And this integration is leading us into the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is about to happen, and it is actually segueing into that age now. It's an age where integration of dualities and integration of opposites and moving into higher consciousness is going to happen rapidly. So we're recreating a new language, a new tapestry of the divine feminine and sacred masculine right now. And we need to bring those into harmony, into balance, because Saturn moves into Aquarius in March 2020 for a few months and then retrogrades back out. And then the next time Saturn moves into Aquarius is in December 2020 when Jupiter moves into Aquarius, and they form this incredible conjunction, which I will talk about throughout the year. But by the end of the year, Saturn merges with Jupiter in Aquarius, and that is truly what I feel is going to be the initiation of the Aquarian age. So this big stellium is clearing out the old so that we can actually move through effortlessly and beautifully. So the Aquarian age will be about equality, not power over or domination, but power with, power for each other, collaboration, interdependent relationships, which we so need, away from codependency, interconnection, true respect for each other, for Mother Nature, divine justice. Saturn is the planet of time. Saturn is saying the time is now in the stellium. Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn. Remember, this is huge. This is big. So we need to take time to reflect. We need to focus on our own life. We need to look at what structures need to be reformed or transformed, what needs to break down, what do you need to let yourself go of. Be okay with not knowing. This is a time as we approach the stellium where we don't necessarily know what new form will replace the old form. That's okay. It will emerge. Just trust that. It will emerge transformed. And if you work with this stellium, this conjunction consciously, you have the opportunity to birth that radical internal shift that is needed right now. Remember, we can't resolve and fix things with the tools of the old paradigm, right? So we need to replace those, the beliefs, the tools we've been using, because this is the time we're moving to a new evolutionary period, a new evolutionary era, into a brand new way of seeing. Remember the 2020s, keep that in mind. Second sight, what you're seeing is changing how you're being. And so that death rebirth theme of Saturn conjunct Pluto doesn't have to play out as destruction. If you are very, very proactive with these energies, you will receive the perfect guidance on how to proceed at any time, because the cosmos always provides the tools you need, the navigation system we need. So let yourself connect to those and collaborate with those energies. Take time to listen. Take time to listen with your whole heart and soul. Take quiet time. And if you get into frustration and stagnation, just know that what we're doing impacts us. So if you're dealing with things like social media, or you're too busy or overwhelmed, you're not taking time to just enjoy with your loved ones and being outside and appreciating this beautiful planet, then we need to reorder our day, and we need to take out of toxic environments or toxic habits and replace them. And that's a very simple truth. It sometimes is hard because, we get addicted a little bit. So we need to turn off sounds that are distracting. Turn off your phone at night, put it on airplane mode. We need to be open, hearing, listening, receptive, the Cancer energy, the future. We need to see life with new eyes. We need to understand that this cosmic shift is here to stay, and we can either resist it or participate. The choice is always yours. You have that divine will to choose. But remember, you're one with all, and if all is moving forward, it would be good to participate and help the shift happen. So I encourage you to transcend any frustration you may feel, any changes that are upsetting, with a trust that all is well. Remember that the darkness only wins when you don't shine your light, your inner light. When you shine your light, you can mask all those shadows of fear in an instant, and they will actually melt into the light because you are shining it. And that is the vision that you'll have. The 2020 vision will shine the light on everyone and everything and show us that we are all one. We are here to co-create with spirit and co-create with each other, to rejoice in each other, to respect each other, to revere each other. Reverence and gratitude are the most important tools you have, because with those two tools you cannot go wrong. You will not get into conflict and have power over. You will empower instead through love, through light. So that is the direction we're heading. It is the Cancerian way of the divine feminine and sacred masculine merged, integrated within us. This is the rebirth, and whatever needs to go in order to make it happen. That is the way of nature. It's always been that way. Things need to die away for the new to emerge. That's why we have the 4 seasons, and that's why we're entering a 4 universal year in 2020. And if you want to discover more about 2020, click on the link below. It'll take you to a page where you can sign up for the Ultimate Yearly Forecast, where I go a lot more deeply into all these energetics, these star codes for the whole year. Meanwhile, have an incredible new year. As we move into the new decade, I wish you all the best. I am so excited to be with you as we navigate the new decade. And, I started this podcast in 2019, and I think it was the perfect time because now we're in it. And there's just no way we're not going to do this together. So I'm just really grateful to all of you. I wish you a happy new year. Lots of love, lots of fulfillment and joy and peace. And I will see you in next week's Star Code. Bye-bye for now.